Hey there, Cosmic Warriors, and welcome back to my Mars series. So in today's video, we are going to be taking a look at the Mars in Libra leader as we describe the Mars in Libra leadership. Now, before we do get started, if you would like to know more information about the Mars signs, about the Mars houses, the Aries houses, and the first house within astrology, then I have created an Aries season/archetype ebook. So I'm going to put a link to that ebook in the description box below so you can pick up your copy today. So with all of those introductions out of the way, Mars in Libra, let's do this. Right, so what I want you to imagine is that the Mars signs are having a race against one another. Now the Mars in Libra just might decide to call up their friend and say something like, "Hey Jessica, so I was just wondering, are you going to be attending this event? I was thinking of going, maybe we should go together." And to be quite honest, I don't care if I win or lose, all I know is that Simon's going to be there. Whoever is going to be at that event, the Mars in Libra will most likely know about it. And even if they don't know about it, well, the Mars in Libra will surely find out. See, this is our third cardinal sign here within this series. And the cardinal signs are known to be leaders. They're known to be initiators. They're known to set things in motion. But this is cardinal air, meaning that the Mars in Libra is going to initiate connections and interactions with others. But at the same time, this is passive energy, just like we talked about in the Mars in Cancer video. But the way that the Mars in Libra is passive is through their conversation. It's through their communication. Let's say, for example, here that the Mars in Libra is waiting outside to go into a meeting, and they're waiting with other people that are also attending that meeting. Well, the Mars in Libra may not directly start or initiate a conversation with those people, but if conversation is initiated from someone else, that Mars in Libra is going to be great at asserting their energy into that discussion in order to be a part of it. And when they are having discussions with others, they're going to be very good at listening, they're going to be very good at speaking, and even if it is that the Mars in Libra picks up on someone else is maybe not taking part, the Mars in Libra is going to be very good at getting that person involved as well. They basically are able to have a very well balanced line of discussion with whoever is there. So they might turn to Paul and ask Paul, well, what do you think? And this right here is actually a part of the Mars in Libra's charm, because if you think about it, if someone is maybe not having their voice heard or their opinion brought forth, and the Mars in Libra turns to them and asks them what they think, well, that person may just think of the Mars in Libra as someone who's really accepting, who really includes other people, and through those people or through that person being included and being involved, well, it's going to make the Mars in Libra highly likable. And this right here can make them great leaders because they are able to identify both reasons for and against something. They're able to see the positive and the negative in something. They are able to place themselves into the shoes of others where they're able to understand, oh, right, okay, I get where you're coming from, because I know for myself as the Mars in Libra, if I was in that particular situation, then maybe I would have reacted that way, or maybe that could have been my course of action. Basically, the Mars in Libra is great at taking themselves out of the situation personally, but at the same time being able to acknowledge that if they were in that situation, they also might not like it, or they might like it, or whatever it is, obviously it depends on what's being said, but they're still not going to let their emotions get involved in it. They're still going to remain rather objective about it at the same time. Meaning that the Mars in Libra leader is not going to give in to other people's pity parties and be like, there. They're not going to get swept away by the emotional tides of the other person and let it affect their energy. And this right here can be really beneficial for the Mars and Libra leader because it means that they can remain fair and they're able to gain a more balanced, fair, harmonious outlook towards the scenario, towards the situation. So if we were to take this into a work scenario where the Mars and Libra works for a particular company or firm, you might notice the Mars and Libra excelling when it comes to the likes of counseling, where they are able to listen to others, to encourage others, and to help empower others. Basically, the Mars and Libra leader is going to be able to help that company or firm better understand themselves. So if it is that they're counseling those one-on-one, right? So this one-on-one relationship, by them counseling that person one-on-one, it can also then help the company as well. And the Mars and Libra can do this by helping build rapport with others. They can help their colleagues see things more clearly. They can provide support in a communicative way. You might even find the Mars and Libra leaders getting into schools and universities where they help the students. So for example, they could make great career advisors due to the Mars and Libra being able to help the students just weigh out their options and their opportunities. They're also going to be very good when it comes to hosting classes and putting on certain presentations for students or for a company or firm or business that they're a part of. Seriously, the Mars in Libra leader just might be really great when it comes to hosting events and things like that. So even on that note, you might find the Mars in Libra leader wanting to host a certain event between their friends or between their loved ones where they can organize that. So even with that, they may make great party organizers or event organizers or even wedding planners. You could find the Mars in Libra excelling when it comes to the likes of weddings. You might find the Mars in Libra being really hospitable or getting involved with hospitality. So let's say, for example, that the Mars in Libra goes to be an air hostess. They're gonna be very good at attending to those passengers. But at the same time, right, the Mars in Libra is not going to take any nonsense, okay? No demanding, pushy, bossy, rude people. Especially if the Mars in Libra knows their rights. If it is that the Mars in Libra joins a certain company and they become an air hostess, for example, if a passenger on that plane does something to the Mars in Libra that invades their rights, that oversteps their mark, that basically goes against what the Mars in Libra has signed up for within their own contracts and their own agreements as the employee, as the person who works for that company, oh my gosh, the Mars in Libra is going to be great at taking legal action against that person. They're going to be good at reading through the contracts, making sure they understand what's in it, why, you know, what are the terms and conditions, what are the rules and regulations there. And if those things are overstepped or if they're not abided by, the Mars in Libra will take action on that. Oh yeah, don't get it mistaken here, guys, because the Mars in Libra may be very good at putting other people in their place, whilst providing all of the documents in order to show them that they should back off. And that justice is served. And this is also why you might just see Mars in Libras excelling when it comes to being lawyers or judges. And a great example of somebody who is a judge is, well, Judge Judy herself, who has Sun, Mars, Mercury, and Venus all in the sign of Libra. Another person to mention actually is Simon Cowell. Now Simon Cowell, he is the judge on the X Factor, Britain's Got Talent, USA Got Talent, American Idol. He judges on so many shows, and how interesting this is that he is judging others on their talents. Meaning that Simon Cowell is kind of using his Mars and Libra energy as a way to really identify how well that the people are singing. So how does it sound? Is it really bad? Is it really delightful? Is it harmonious? Is it nice to listen to? Because if it's not nice to listen to, well, Simon Cowell is going to tell them, no, get off. Let's just say here that his Sagittarius moon added in with this Libra energy, yeah, it makes for a rather blunt individual. So speaking of beauty, right, you might even find the Mars in Libra leader excelling when it comes to the likes of beauty and makeup and hair and jewelry and fashion. And I have three people who all have their Mars in Libra that I want to mention. So first of all, we have James Charles, who is a Gemini with his Mars in Libra, who has his YouTube channel, and he's a makeup artist, and seriously, he's really well liked, really well liked, really popular. Kylie Jenner is another one who has her Mars in Libra, and she also has her own makeup brand. Lastly, we have none other than Jeffree Star, okay? Jeffree Star, what's interesting about him is that he is a model, he is a fashion designer, he's a makeup artist. However, he's also a DJ and a songwriter, I believe, and he has made a lot of music. He actually started a music career from being known on MySpace. But still, with him, he has a Capricorn moon and he has a lot of Scorpio energy. So it shows that he's very determined and really persistent. He's just this huge business person who has his own makeup brand. And furthering this point on when it comes to music, you might even find the Mars in Libras excelling when it comes to the likes of music and art, where they just have an eye or an ear for what's beautiful, you know, or what sounds good. I mean, we have the likes of Freddie Mercury, who had his Mars in Libra, and we also have John Lennon, who had his Mars in Libra, and their voices are just divine. There's just something about their sound that charms the public. And not to mention the powerhouse herself, Whitney Houston, and she had her Mars in Libra, as well as her moon in Aries and being a Leo. And she wasn't just a singer, she was also an actress, a producer, and a model. So yeah, anything to do with the arts, you just might find the Mars in Libra taking part. Though still, the Mars in Libra, they might not be overly fond of actually giving direct orders or directions to other people. It could just be where they have this open line of communication with someone, where they just have a basic discussion with them. And so through that, they're able to help give advice and help direct that person indirectly, just through their responses, just through what they're saying. The Mars in Libra leader just might be really good at providing advice to others, especially if it's to do with relationship advice based on the relationships that the Mars in Libra has maybe experienced. So they're able to bring forth their own thoughts and opinions because they've experienced it themselves, and so through that experience they can then share what they think or what they know or how they perceive things with other people. However, the Mars in Libra must also understand that the advice that they are giving to that other person, well, they are free to make their own decisions. Because the thing is that if that person doesn't take the Mars in Libra's advice, the Mars in Libra may get to a point where they just feel like a broken record, or they may get a little bit angry or upset that the person is just, it's not clicking, they're just not getting it. So yeah, it's just for the Mars in Libra just to balance themselves and just accept that this is another person, they're gonna act the way they're gonna act, they're gonna make their own decisions, and I can't really change that directly. It's just, I mean, that person can only really change themselves. And by the Mars in Libra being reasonable towards a situation, by understanding that not everybody has to agree with them, and also by them trying not to take things super personally about others, you know, when others maybe disagree with them, well, by the Mars in Libra being a little bit more reasonable about that, it's going to make them much more effective, impactful, honest, and open leaders. Now, with that in mind, the Mars in Libra may have the tendency of dodging certain disagreements and disputes that they have with others, especially if they realize that they do not have much grounding to sort of work with here. If maybe they don't have all the information that they need or have accumulated, they may need time to sort of step away from that situation and to do more research, to think things over, to think things through before they then approach it again. But at the same time, it's important for the Mars in Libra not just to turn into this silent person who just gives people the cold shoulder and gives them the silent treatment for a very long time. It's about trying to come to a solution or trying to solve that problem. But if if the Mars in Libra just gives a silent treatment and takes themselves away, they're not going to be able to form any sort of connection or agreement or negotiation or come to any sort of peaceful, harmonious solution with that person. They'll just end up isolating themselves and then realize that they don't really have many friends or many people in their lives that are really supportive towards them, and that's not what the Mars in Libra wants. By the Mars in Libra having the courage to speak up and verbalize what they think and what they want, it's going to make them stronger leaders. It's going to make them more independent leaders. But ultimately, it is about the Mars in Libra learning to assert their aggression with courage in a healthy manner. Seriously, a Mars in Libra who gets all bent out of shape over someone else's opinion on something, okay, on a certain matter or a certain issue, on a certain cause, well, they may just be one passive-aggressive person, all whilst they decide to talk about you behind your back. Yup, when the Mars in Libra cannot handle the truth, or when things are just not fair in their eyes, that Mars in Libra just might flee the scene. But there's still going to be leaders who stand up for the rights of others. So for example, we have the likes of Pamela Anderson, and she has her own website of the Pamela Anderson Foundation, where it's dedicated to human, animal and environmental rights, and so she is just basically an advocate for justice, okay? It's on her website, it's on her website. So there you have it, okay? The Mars in Libra is not just a pretty face who is into their makeup and their cosmetic. Well, it's also where you see them standing up for the rights of others. I mean, take John Lennon for example. He was an advocate for peace. And then we also had Nelson Mandela. He had his Mars in Libra, as well as Abraham Lincoln. Now, the Mars in Libra as well, they may just assert their energy into learning about human behavior, where they enjoy understanding the sort of dynamics that goes on between people. And a great example of someone that I really want to mention who had their Mars in Libra was Sigmund Freud. Now, Sigmund Freud was an Austrian neurologist, and he had a Scorpio rising along with Mars in Libra in the 11th house, and then he had a lot of 7th house, 8th house energy going on. And the point of his whole treatment was to empower his patients to recall the experience and bring it to their consciousness. And it was for them to also confront it intellectually and emotionally. So yeah, you just might find the Mars in Libra leader being that type of leader who helps others confront themselves, to have the courage to take action on their own behaviors. And by others having the courage to take action on their own behaviors, well, it can make the world a better place, right? It can make the world a much more peaceful and harmonious place. We even notice how Liz Green had her Mars in Libra as well, and of course she was an astrologer, and she actually based many of her theories and her studies upon Jungian psychology. Now, when it comes to the sex drive, because of course this is Mars and it's to do with sexual energy, well, the Mars in Libra is going to be great at pleasing their partner. They might lead within the bedroom, but also enjoy when the partner leads as well. They're going to be great at satisfying their sexual desires, but at the same time, it's important for the partner not to push on the Mars in Libra. So if it is that they want to introduce something new into the bedroom, it's really important for the Mars in Libra to arrive to that decision on their own, okay? Not to just jump right in, but just to let them figure it out a little bit, just to get it all harmonized before going in. And lastly, what I would like to mention about the Mars in Libra is when it comes to them joining forces with another person or persons, okay? This can help them actually realize new things about themselves. So for example, we have the likes of Eminem. He was discovered by Dr. Dre under the label of Aftermath Entertainment, but then Eminem went on to start his own record label called Shady Records. And then we also have the likes of Zac Efron. So Zac Efron was in High School Musical. He dated Vanessa Hudgens for years. They were the hot couple at that time when High School Musical was, you know, popular. So yeah, you may find that Mars in Libras may be really strategic when it comes to, well, if I'm in a relationship with this person, it's going to really help me get ahead, or it's going to help with the publicity, or it's going to help just with, you know, this business, because of course Libra can also be connected with business partnerships. So you may find that with certain couples, because I question that too with celebrities. You sort of wonder, are they actually in love? Are they actually attracted to each other? Or is this just some sort of agreement and arrangement that's been made between the two? Do you remember Jessica Simpson and Nikki Lachey? I can't remember her second name, I don't think I'm pronouncing it right, but they had that show Newlyweds from years ago. I remember that. But you know what, either way, it could be that the Mars in Libra may see the power in being with someone to help them get ahead or help them both get ahead, but it might just be that they appreciate the very value that that relationship brings to them, because they see and acknowledge that it just makes them a better person overall. Overall, the Mars in Libra leader is going to be one fair, balanced, and harmonious leader who really does take other people's opinions into consideration. And whilst they may not be the best at being direct with their combative energy or with their aggression, well, it's still part of their charm. But always keep in mind here that the Mars in Libra will treat you the way you treat them. Okay then, Cosmic Warriors, so that concludes my video on the Mars in Libra leadership. Thank you so much for watching, thank you for subscribing, and of course if you would like to see more videos from myself, then go right ahead and click the subscribe button if you have not done already. And I will be back with the Mars in Scorpio leadership video very, very soon. Bye!